Hey guys, it's Sierra. I am back, part 2 video. So today I'm going to talk about HPSP Scholarship. This is probably a question I get asked a lot in general. In medicine, students, people that are out practicing about different military scholarships. So technically I have 30 days left. So yay! But I'll tell you about my experiences and kind of talk about HPSP in general. And then probably have some information in the below that you can read about it as well. So first thing, HPSP is Health Profession Scholarship Program. It's through Army, Air Force, Navy, whichever branch you're interested in. I would recommend interviewing all 3 branches. That is one thing I did. I did interview all 3. The Navy was basically a 5-for-4 payback. And basically the scholarships will pay for 1 year for every year that you ask for school. So minimum is 2. But if you're wanting to get the 20,000 bonus, you usually have to do 3 or 4 years. I would highly recommend doing 3 or 4 because somehow they're still going to get those years out of you. So there are some people that I know that are 2 years, but most people are at least 3 or 4 year paybacks. So you pay for school. I talked to the different Navy. They basically, you would do 1 GMO, which means that after your intern year, you would basically practice somewhere for a year and you would go back and finish your residency. And Air Force and Army were very similar. So basically 4-for-4. Of note, your 4-for-4 doesn't count until after you finish residency. So they pay for medical school for 4 years. You do a residency. This only matters if your residency is at the same amount as your medical school or less. So my residency was in pediatrics was 3 years. So if you do a 3 or 4 year residency, then after you finish residency, that starts your payback for 4 years. So you'll pretty much do about 7 years active, 7 to 8 years basically, depending on how long your residency is. If you pick a longer residency, like surgery or something like that, then it adds on to it, basically which one is longer. So sometimes you owe a little bit more. So just of note, your residency does matter. So for one, cost. So HPSP pays for all of your tuition, all of your fees, as long as you get accepted into that medical school. And then they also give you other perks, usually a monthly stipend to cover stuff. And then books, they have probably changed since I joined 10 years ago. But you do get a book stipend as well and stuff like that. So definitely, for one, not coming out with medical school debt. I can speak for my peers. There's nothing like it. So not coming out with any debt. There's nothing like not having to pay student loans. So there's so many people right now hoping that loans are taken away. I cannot say what our presidential candidates will do in the future or anything, but I just know that there's a lot of debt out there and people go into a lot of debt to get to the professions that we are. So first thing is cost. They pay for that. Second is your experience. So I kind of explained the payback. I will say military is changing right now. We're in the middle of a shift. So when I got out, DHA had took over. So Defense Health Agency had basically taken over. And it's not like your MedCom or your U.S. Army or your Air Force or different comms, but DHA is over everybody now. So it's definitely a changing time. Would I do it again? Yes, I would. I love my experience. I love my payback. I love everything. All my leadership. I loved everything in the military. Maybe not the PT test, because I took plenty of those. But honestly, I would totally do it again. Will I go back in? Will I do reserves? Not right now. I said if I miss it in 2 years, I'll go back. But it's not for me right now. So your experience. So it's all about how you make your experience, and your leaders can really affect that. I definitely had a great leader coming out of residency. My residency director was awesome. And then I definitely had bad leaders. But at least I ended up with a good leader at the end, so that kind of made up for those 2 years of badness. But in the military, it'll go up and down. And unfortunate and fortunate is you have no say in that. So in civilian jobs, you can say, hey, I don't like it here, I'm about to leave, the leadership is toxic, you're kind of stuck. So you're stuck on your 3 to 5 year tour, and you just got to deal it out. So that's the one thing. And then you have no say in higher ups, how things change. You have no say in any job, how higher ups change, but there are definitely some changes right now. Do I know the future? Nobody really knows. So all of a sudden, no one really knows the future. What will it be? First they wanted to stop different residencies like peds and stuff like that, and they made these different buckets. Since Corona and everything, honestly, we haven't heard about a bucket in like a year now. So who knows? I think this pandemic definitely has a change, and they won't necessarily get rid of all the specialties they thought they would. But who knows? We cannot speak that. I cannot speak that. No one has a crystal ball. So we have no idea. But it's definitely beneficial. I would definitely highly recommend it. Those are kind of the points I want to talk about: the cost, the experience, and then the payback, so how much you have to do. Again, I always keep these videos short. Like and subscribe if you haven't by now. Please visit my website, www.ccballercreations.com. We'll continue to make videos. Have a good one. Bye.